Hey guys, how you doing? Chris back here with another pickup video. This one's a pretty big one, so I'm going to try to jump in it pretty quickly here. I got about 30 items to show you. I'll start with what I forgot to show you on the last one. The game lot I picked up with Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3 and all those from the guy who was a hell of a nice gentleman and cut me a deal. Who I offered him $50, and he ended up telling me, "Hey, 40," and I'm like, "Take my money." Uh, 5 manuals came with it. Forgot to show you guys this. Donkey Kong. So if I get the box, I'll have that complete. Donkey Kong Jr. the same way. Duck Hunt, which was probably like the weakest of the manuals. It's pretty messed up, but it's not a real big deal. I can get the box and manual pretty cheap for Duck Hunt. Kung Fu, which is one game I actually would like to get complete. And I'm gonna have to look this up, but some of you guys might maybe know this. If you do, comment down below. But it's a little asterisk after Kung Fu. I've never really understood why that's there. I just noticed it the other day. I was like, that's really odd. So I'll look it up if I'm too lazy to do so. And you guys know what it is, go ahead and comment. And then we have Pac-Man Tension, which is great because I have this one. So, or do I have this one? No, I don't have this one. I got the Namco one. So if anybody has this game and need the manual, let me know. I'll get it out to you guys. Anyway, so then we're up to the games from this week, from last 4 days or so. On Saturday morning, I got a I did a trade with what is his name, Kyle, from Nintendo Trade and Collect. I gave him some pretty common games, but sought after games like a couple Mario's, 5 Screwed Zelda, a couple other ones, and he sent me 14 games I needed. Nothing in here is a huge title, like nothing really high dollar or anything, but I need a lot of commons, so it really helps me out here. So I got Abadox, which I don't know if you guys have played it yet or not, but it's actually a interesting game. It's a side scroller, and basically you're like a guy standing and moving all around, and you're shooting. So it's almost like a Gradius, but you're a dude with like a backpack or something. I'm guessing you're that guy right there, and you're shooting side scrolling. It apparently came from Abe's County Village. I've never heard of it, so Country Village, yeah, Country Village. So I have to look that up, see if who they are, see if they're still around, maybe have more games. Then I got Alien 3. God, this one feels heavy for some reason. I'm going to have to open it. Maybe somebody hid some bills in there or something. Who knows? But it's an LJN game. Oh, I don't know, heaven forbids. This game I can't get to work very well. I mean, I can get it to work, but it's like staticky on the bottom. I don't know what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to take it apart, clean it very well, see if it works. I've never had a problem with Kyle's games before, so I'm sure it works fine. It was part of a pack for whatever reason. But it's an LJN game, and what can I say about LJN, especially the licensed games? This one isn't really that good. The other one was Milton Bradley, by the way, the Abadox. Then we have a Jalico game, Halico, whatever. Aestemix, I don't even know how to say it, but basically you're this night guy, and you're going around, and you're building up your armor, and you're building up weapons, and you're going around killing things. I got to like the second stage and got killed. I really can't figure it out much. If I had to look it up online and see how to play it properly, I basically got owned on it. Then we have Bad News Baseball, which I love this cover art. There we go, right there. I love the cover art, but the game, honestly, is pretty horrible. Plays like a really slowed down version of RBI Baseball or of Bases Loaded. The graphics are shitty in game. The sound's pretty horrible, but it's basically just a generic baseball game. Why they call it Bad News Baseball, I don't know. Maybe I didn't play far enough. Maybe you can do mean stuff like in Arch Rivals. If anybody knows, once again, comment below. Then we have Castle of Dragon. Oh wait, the Castle of Dragon was a game I played the other day, not Asterix. Castle of Dragon was one where you play as a night guy and you go around and you're building up your armor and your weapons, kind of like Castlevania and whatnot. And like I said, it owned me. Classic Concentration, based on the challenging television show, and it's made by Game Tech, and it's basically like a match game. A couple things come up, you match them, and then it reveals a picture, and you got to tell what the picture is, and you win prizes. I got to tell who made these other games. Seta made Castle of Dragon, and Tecmo made Bad News Baseball. So then we come across a game that I really do like. This is Bandai's Dragon Spirit: The New Legend. It's a really fun game. I remember playing this game on the TurboGrafx 16, I believe it was, PC Engine. Fun game. You're basically a dragon, and you're flying through a stage, and you're shooting enemies and whatnot. And the graphics are really nice. I love the cover art. I would love to have this in box. Basically, it's an anime-looking style game, and I'm a big anime fan. So would definitely love to get the box of that if I can find it. Let me move a few things here. The reason why I'm on my table now with all this stuff around is because of how much stuff I got to show you guys. So, hey. Then we got, I'm going to kill this title. This is a Ultra title, Konami title, however you want to call it. It's a Gyrus. It's once again you would think by looking at it, it's a side shooting scroller. I always thought it was. I don't think I remember playing it. But it's basically a head-on shooter where creatures are coming at you and you're circling around the screen shooting at them. It's almost plays like a head-on version of third-person shooter almost of Gradius. It's a pretty fun game actually. Pretty addicting. Then we have SNK's Iron Tank. It's a game where you go around as a tank, shooting enemies, running over enemies, capturing some, basically, I think some POWs it looks like. Pretty fun game. Now, this game was pissing me off so bad. This is a, who the hell made this game? I don't even see a title on here. This might have just been made by Nintendo, actually. But this is a game called Mystery Quest. If you know who it is, go ahead and comment down below. I don't see a name on there anywhere. I see Nintendo here and the still quality, and that's it. So, if you guys know who made this, go ahead. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, wow, it's really light. Taxan? T-A-X-A-N? Anyway, Taxan made it. It's a very annoying game. You're basically a little dude going around shooting weird rock things and trying to kill snakes and other creatures, and I didn't quite figure it out. I got killed pretty quickly. On the cover, it shows like a mole and scorpions and bees and wizards, but it might get better. I have to sit down and actually play instead of just going through real quick. Then we got a game put out by Bulletproof Software called Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream, I think I remember playing this on the Game Boy. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I had it on there. There we go, Pipe Dream. And basically, it's a puzzle game to where you're building a pipe, trying to make sure all the sludge gets out of the screen. It's a pretty fun game. It's just a typical puzzle game. Then we got a game I never heard of before. I've seen it. I never really heard of it. I've never played it. I tried playing it, and it is fucking horrendous. It is made by High Tech, and it's called Rollerblade Racer. And I was going to get Krusty's Funhouse from him, but I already had that in a deal with somebody else, so I went ahead and got this. Horrible, horrible game. Basically, you're a rollerblade racer, and you're like going uphill, and the only button you have is up to move and a jump. And if you hit a crack, you fall. You hit a pipe, you fall. You hit a man cover, you fall. You got dogs coming out after you. It's almost like all the bad elements of Paperboy mixed with Back to the Future, the uphill screen. It's freaking horrible, man. Horrible. Talk about horrible games. We have the worst, in my opinion, of the Simpsons trilogy on the Nintendo. We have Acclaim's The Simpsons Bart vs. the World. This is the second one I got because I got Bart vs. the Space Mutants not that long ago. This one is, the graphics are just horrendous. The sound is halfway decent. It is an Acclaim title, and they usually do pretty good sound, but the game, I wouldn't even bother. It's freaking horrible. Only buy it if you're really collecting like all the Simpsons or all the Nintendo or something, because you're going to hate it otherwise. Okay. Then we have Swords and Serpents. It's a dungeon explorer type of game. Basically, you're going through a little dungeon, and it's like a Wizards and Warriors, Dungeons and Dragons type game. Quite annoying. Anyway, so then after that, I was talking to this guy on Facebook, and he told me he had a couple of video games. He said he had 4 Nintendo games. Two of them were the same. He had 2 of one game, 2 of another. 2 sealed copies and 2 used copies. And he's like, okay, well, for the sealed copies, I want $10. For the used ones, I want $5. I'm like, okay. Well, the one I didn't want was MiG-29. I'm not big into licensed games. I might re-get them anyway because they're cheap, and I can trade them for something else. But the ones I wanted was, well, why don't I have Chris show you? Chris?
Well, thank you, Chris. That guy, he's one hell of a guy, isn't he? Anyway, the deal that he was talking about me getting is, found a guy on Facebook, said he's selling a couple of Nintendo games, and these are what he sold me. He sold me Motor City Patrol, complete in box. There's a box. Here's the game. It's got let's see here, manual, map, everything else with it. Very, very good condition. As you can see, believe it or not, the only thing missing out of it is, I'm sorry, you have to excuse me here, is the black sleeve, which I got plenty of those, so that's pretty darn cool. And man, this camera's all messed up here. Anyway, so I got that, like I said, for $5 used, but complete in box. It's a Matchbox Motor City Patrol. It's a pretty interesting game. And on top of that, I also got a sealed copy of Matchbox City Patrol. As you can see, it's got the H seam on it. I don't know how well you can see that. There you go. H seam. And believe it or not, it had a $9.95 sticker on it, and he actually sold it to me for $10. So $10 for this, $5 for that. Hey, I'm pretty damn happy. So hey, back to you, Chris.
Right back at you, buddy. So Chris is a pretty good guy there. He wanted to show you what we had there. So basically, what we had was the sold one. I went ahead and traded off for something I'll show you here in a minute. But this is the complete in box one. I already got it inside my box protector. Very, very nice looking. It's a Matchbox game. I never played it. The game is horrible. Wow, look at all that glare. Game is horrible. It almost, if you remember Dick Tracy in the game, in the scenes where you're driving around the car, it almost plays like that, or like the very old Grand Theft Auto, the original ones. It's horrendous. And the sealed copy I traded off for a box and game of Muscle. I didn't have Muscle. Muscle is a hard game to come by. Actually, the game isn't hard to come by. The game's actually kind of, I guess, kind of uncommon. You don't see it that often, but it's pretty cheap. But the box is the hard part to come by. It's about an $80 box. It's a little dented up here, which is fine by me because I didn't pay much for the other game. And the hang tab is still on here. The only thing it's missing is a manual, which I'll end up getting later. It's like a $10 manual, so it's not a huge deal for me right now to go after. But I got that for trade for the new Motor City Patrol. Also, in another trade, I traded some pretty common, once again, sought after games, and I gave $30. And between the two, or between the items, Alex from St. Louis Gamer Group gave me this. He also traded me for the Muscle. It's the Legend of Zelda Skull Kid Majora's Mask. As you can see, it's still sealed. I'll probably keep it sealed because I got a, as you saw in a couple videos back, a used copy of Majora's Mask in a trade, so I didn't have to pay anything for that, basically, except for what I paid in the trade, which is like $10. So I'll probably keep this sealed and just keep the other one and play it. And then that was at the St. Louis Retro Gamer Group meetup, which I'll probably be adding some video footage either up here or mixed in here somewhere. So, there we go. After that, I went and got some games from a guy yesterday, Sunday. I met him through a Facebook page, I believe it was. No, Craigslist. He saw my ad on Craigslist. I put I had some games for trade. He wanted a couple of them, so I traded my complete box Ocarina of Time for 3DS, which I picked up from the pawn shop for $10. The Pokemon, or was it $10? $6. And then the Pokemon Y I picked up for like $6. Paperboy, and I think Pac-Man. And I traded those for these 7 games here. I got the Addams Family, which is actually a pretty fun game. I actually liked it better than Pugs Loose Adventures or Fester's Quest. I guess technically they have 3 games. That is made by Oceans, by the way, and I gotta tell you, but this is made by Bandai, and I believe Motor City Patrol is by Matchbox, and of course Zelda is made by Nintendo. So anyway, so I got Addams Family, and then I got one game I've been looking for. It's made by Howl Software, which used to just have a little weird looking title, and now they have like a dog with weird things. Anyway, it's Daydreaming Davy with the manual. Manual's in pretty damn good shape. I wouldn't mind having the box for this one, so if anybody's got it, go ahead and let me know. I got the Great Waldo Search. This is harder to find than the Where's Waldo. It's not an expensive game. It's like maybe a $10 to $15 game, but it is hard to find. I got Great Waldo Search is by THQ, by the way. I got Hatris here, which is once again a bulletproof software title. This one's got some cool looking tiger dragon design thingy. Anyway, this basically plays like Tetris, but with hats. It's actually a pretty funny, unique way to play it. I also got Krusty's Funhouse, which is another Simpsons title. I don't really consider it part of the trilogy because it's not Bart versus whatever, but it's Acclaim once again. It plays better, but it's harder to figure out. At least I think it is. It sounds awesome. Then we got Lemmings, which is made by Sunsoft. Fun game, hard to figure out at first, but Lemmings, of course, went on to make quite a few titles for different games. Or Sunsoft made quite a few Lemming titles for different games, or different systems. And then we have Nintendo's own, yeah, this is this Nintendo here, I thought it was, Yoshi's Cookie, which is almost like a type of Tetris game where you have titles already on there and you can transfer them around. If you ever played like JT's Blocks and stuff like that, it kind of plays like that. So anyway, I got all those in trade for those 4 games I told you about there. And then I ended up going to Game Trader 2 the same day, and I took some of the titles I had, and I went ahead and traded them in for some other stuff. First, I traded a copy of Castlevania 1 to Alex, who doesn't really work at Game Trader 2, but he does a lot of deals through them, sells the stuff there. I got the box and manual for Nightmare on Elm Street. It's already in the case protector, that's why it's all glary. The box isn't in the best shape, a couple dents here and there, and the manuals has water damage to it, but it's not sticking at all. You can go through all the pages. It looks kind of wrinkly. You could probably take an iron to it and straighten it out fine, but I'm not bothered with it. Basically, for a simple trade, I got box and manual. Later on, I'll do upgrade if I find one. Then I also got Werewolf, The Last Warrior. This is a game me and my friend Matt used to play all the time when we were younger. First of all, look at that cover art. It shows him like ripping out of the Nintendo cartridge, and on the cartridge itself, it looks better. It looks like he's ripping out of it, and it's actually got some codes and stuff from the game in there. And it came with the comic book. This one didn't have the comic book in it, so I'm going to look for it. I remember reading the comic. It's pretty fun. It's made by Data East, by the way. And LJN made Nightmare on Elm Street, but I didn't even pick the game up. But we all know that. If anybody ever watches Angry Video Game Nerd, he'll tell you all about the game. But Data East made this. Data East, of course, has made some really good games. They were responsible for another great game that I love on the Nintendo, which is Bad Dudes. And overall, I love Data East. They have great music, good characters. The gameplay on here can be pretty hectic. It can be pretty rough, but it's a fun game. If you ever see Werewolf, pick it up, especially if you get it cheap. And the last title I picked up was a Titus title, and it is the Blues Brothers. There it is right there. I love the cover art. It shows them drawn like cartoon, kind of crazy, looks like Harry Crumb type style. And it came with the manual, and basically they had this marked at like $30, which I thought was kind of high until I looked it up online. And it's going up in price. I got a feeling this might end up being one of the next big hits, value-wise, on Nintendo. So I went ahead and picked it up before it went up any higher, because I don't know, like a year ago it was on like $15, and I got a feeling, I hate to say this, but I got a feeling when Dan Aykroyd dies, this title's going to go up even more. So definitely wanted to get it before it started hitting the high dollar rings. It's a fun game. It's a platformer. You're going around basically as you're gonna kill me here. I can't remember which Blues brother it is. I think it's Jacob Blue. He's the chubby one, played by anyway. Sorry, I'm half out of it right now. But anyway, he's the bigger Blues brother. He's going after his younger brother. I'm pretty sure his brother was kidnapped or something. I'd have to look inside the manual and see, because I got a habit of not looking at these anymore and just playing them, just try them out. It's a fun game. But also at the party, I was able to test out some games of hardware that I never played before. Like I played Jetsons Cogswell Capers for the first time. Fun game, really hard. We got pretty far into it, and Alex, who was hosting the party, decided to not hit continue for some reason. Why, I don't know. I think he accidentally did it. Then we played Panic Restaurant, which is like a $270 game right now, but it is a fun game. You go around as a chef trying to get your restaurant back from another chef by beating breads and sausages and pizzas and popcorn pans and microwaves and chickens and eggs and everything else. Well, you start with a frying pan and you work your way up to a spoon and you get a spork, and this one thing, like, you put a pot in your head and it starts spinning around like invincibility style. It's a crazy game. If you haven't played it yet, emulate it. It's an expensive game, so I'm not telling you to go out and buy it. It's really hard to come by. And you can't get it on an eShop as far as I know. So go ahead and emulate it if you can't get it. If you can get it, go ahead. It's a fun game, and definitely, I'm not going to say worth it, but it's one of the more expensive games that's fun. Because there's some of these expensive games like Color or Dinosaur, which are just horrible. But anyway, so that's all my pickups for this time. Tell me what you guys got in the comments down below. I got a new tripod, so hopefully it's not as shaky. I'm still kind of hitting the table for whatever reason. So until next time, I'll catch you all later, and you guys have good fun, and I hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh, come on!
How many apples does it take to kill a spider? Yeah!
Oh my god!
Jesus, man. Just save the boy.
Why is it throwing it the wrong way?
Save the boy.
Save the boy.
Oh!
Bam, bam, bam.
And now you're going to hit my spider web and you're going to die.
He's got a horn on his head. What's going on here?
I find out the spider was trying to kill you, so you can rescue him.
I picked you up for thanking you for helping me out.
You got a glider.
I got a glider.
Ooh.
Sounds cool. Oh, glide now.